All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the September 28th, 2022 Community Mental Health Full Board Meeting, and we'll start with the pledge. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is the reading of the mission statement. Donna, could you read that for us?
Yes. Macomb County Community Mental Health, guided by the values, strengths, and informed choices of the people we serve, provides quality services which promote recovery, community participation, self-sufficiency, and independence.
Thank you. Next is the adoption of the agenda. I have one change. We accidentally omitted the CAC, approval of the CAC members, so I'd like to have that be item O. But other than that, I will take a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Support.
Motion from Selena, support from Megan. Questions, comments on the agenda? Lori says no. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The agenda is adopted. And for item O for board members, the information is going to be part of 11B in your packet, part of Dave's report. We're trying to figure out a good place for it. Next item is 4, hearing of the public. Anybody from the public wishing to speak on any item on the agenda? You have 5 minutes. Anybody wishing to speak in public comment? Nobody's moving? All right, we will close the first hearing of the public. There's another hearing of the public at the end of the meeting when you can speak about any item that you wish. We'll move on to 5. I'll take approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of the CMH Full Board held on July 27th, 2022. Motion from Nick, support from Lori. Questions, comments? I believe we had one change on that, or one correction that Nick caught, and it's been fixed, so we should be set. All right.
Yeah, you had me in attendance twice.
We just love having you here, Nick. All right, no questions, no comments. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Minutes are approved. Item B, there were no minutes for the full board meeting from last month because we did not have a quorum. And we'll move on to item 6, approval of standing committee meeting minutes. I'll take a motion to approve items A, B, and C. Motion from Dana, support from Antoinette. Nick, go ahead.
I was just going to say, just so the membership notes, that on 6B, there was a template of, we have these great automation systems that don't allow us to do certain things we want to, but Sandy's working on fixing it, that 6B, which was an executive committee meeting, is correct, except on the minutes it says it's a full board meeting and a committee of the whole. Those two things she's going to change because it was an executive board meeting, and the membership is made up of the officers and the chairs. Otherwise, that 4 members present wouldn't have been a quorum again, but it is a quorum of the 7 executive board members.
Thank you, Nick. And yes, that's a Board of Commissioners problem, not a CMH/Sandy problem.
Okay.
Just want everybody here to know that. You're welcome. Any other questions or comments on those minutes? All right, hearing and seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Minutes are adopted. All right, for item 7, I would like to request approval of items A through J, if that's okay with the board.
So moved. Support.
Motion from Ryan, support from Antoinette. We did all of these at program and budget. Any further questions, comments on any of these items? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Those items pass. We'll move on to item K, requesting final approval of the 2023 fiscal budget. This is version 2. I wanted to separate this specifically because there was a change, and I'm going to bring Richard up to speak to it, or Ken, whoever wants to. But I'll take a motion to approve that item.
So moved.
Motion from Donna, support from Mark. Richard, you give us a little highlight to the update, please.
Yes, just testing. Thank you. Okay, just a quick some of the changes that did happen between the first version, which was presented at program and budget, and this version, which is final. Number one, I had hoped that we were going to get updated rates from the department. Those did not come as quickly as possible, so we only got those last week, so that has not been updated. We did go back, and based on some of the questions from Chair Kraft, we did identify where some of the county cost allocation expenses were classified in the contracted services section, so we did want to make that a little bit clearer for county commission, so we did move that back to make that clear, so those align better. And then we also did update one of our local match contributions and made that so that's flat, because we do know that the local match contribution to the state of Michigan will be a flat dollar amount going forward. So those are the only two changes on the revision. Did want to bring that to your attention, but otherwise the totals should be consistent. So.
Thank you, Richard. Any questions? Nick, go ahead.
Just real quick, you said this does reflect the updated rate?
No, this does not. So we got the new rates from the state. Those did not come until late last week. Right. We will have to build those into a budget amendment.
Okay, and can you give us an idea of what that change is?
So we're still analyzing that change, but we're estimating that that's going to be an increase in revenue compared to what's in here, somewhere between 5 and 10 million. So okay. we do think it's going to be a revenue increase in that budget amendment, not a decrease. So that's good news.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nick. And Richard, thank you for addressing my questions. It may make your life a little bit easier when you come before the Board of Commissioners, so just trying to help out.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, seeing no other questions, comments, all in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. Next, I'd like to do items L and M together. Seek approval for those two. Motion from Nick, I think I heard, and support from Antoinette. Questions, comments on those two items? Those are also done at program and budget. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Next, we'll move on to item N. This is a new item. Like a motion to approve, final approval to not renew the My Health Link contract.
So moved. Support.
Motion from Megan, support from Lori. I'll turn it over to Dave.
Thank you. We've had some additional conversations internally to double check any possible impact on people in the program. And we were able to clarify with Richard's help that the program will continue, and we will actually continue to provide services to folks in the My Health Link program, but we will simply be doing so as a provider under the My Health Link program. The administrative portion of what we've been doing is what we would not be renewing. So again, no impact to people in the program. We would continue to cooperate and provide the behavioral health component of those services, but we would be billing then Medicare directly, and the Medicaid is under our current contracts. I did also reach out to the CMH Association to make sure that us not renewing wouldn't have ripple effects and as far as I can tell, checking out every piece, that there's no downside to people served. And again, the cons as listed in the presentation stand. So I continue to recommend that we not renew. We have a very short window now, so tomorrow and Friday I'll be working on the official notices to the ICOs of our intent to not renew, and I think we'll be good.
Thanks, Dave. Questions, comments? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. All right, next is item O. I'll take a motion to approve the CAC candidates that were presented in your packet.
So moved. Support.
Motion from Megan, support from Lori. Anwar? We didn't leave them off intentionally. I just want to start off with that.
Thank you. We are happily recommending 2 candidates that were probably recommended from a couple board members. The first one is Ayana Yat. Ayana is a master's degree in social work infant mental health student currently. She's coming in as an advocate for the Citizens Advisory Council. She's a facilitator at a grassroots organization working in sexual assault awareness, education, advocacy. She's also doing research exploring needs of professionals in the infant early mental health childhood field. Her practices are geared towards the promotion of professional well-being in this field as well. She's currently researching also the needs and victories of Black women overcoming depression, and she's also a fellow as an Albert Schweitzer Humanitarian Fellow. And her main passions currently for community mental health is equitable access to holistic mental health care and wellness in the community. She's currently residing in Sterling Heights, Michigan, and will be joining us as an advocate.
Anwar, could you move the microphone a little closer?
I'm sorry,
We're having a hard time hearing you.
Richard's really tall in this. So the second candidate is Ann Gacke. She resides at Macomb Township, and she's coming in as a family member with, she's got children in the autism spectrum. She has lots of experience as a parent of special needs children and as a community advocate assisting families with autism. She's worked at the MISD for the last 16 years, served multiple boards related to autism, and currently serving on the Macomb Autism Connect board. And she has, like I said, she has 2 children, adult children with autism. So these are 2 candidates, and I'm really happy to have them on board. That makes us at about 9 right now. So any questions, any comments?
Dave, go ahead.
Just on behalf of Linda, she couldn't be here tonight, but she is the board liaison with the CAC. We did meet with her ahead of time, Anwar and I, to review the candidates, and she did give her full support as well. So, thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Any other questions, comments for Anwar? No? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. We have 2 more appointees. Next, we will move on to receive and file. I will take a motion for A through C.
So moved. Support.
Motion from Antoinette, support from Dana. We did these ones in program and budget. Questions, comments on these? Okay, seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? So items are received and filed. I'll take a motion. We'll just do items D through H together. Motion to receive and file.
So moved. Support.
Motion from Megan, support from Antoinette. Dave, did you want to speak to any of these?
No.
Okay.
I've apologized to most people, I think. There was a last-minute flurry of year-end, fiscal year-end, for the eGram system. eGrams is where all of our CMH SP contracts and SUD agreements go through. Some of these were amendments to the current fiscal year contract right at the end of the fiscal year. Most of them were simple budget amendments. There was, I think one amendment to the PIHP agreement. Sandy and I worked closely with the Office of the County Executive to go into the super user-friendly eGram system to approve these. and we were able to, these were time sensitive, so they were approved outside of the typical board meeting. We are meeting to set up a different tracking system than we have, so that when the emails come through, and you can tell by the titles of some of these that it gets complicated really fast when you're trying to see, is it the CBH or the CCBH or the SUGs or the CSUGs. So we will have a closer tracking, and we will give notice out to the board as soon as those items come across as getting ready to be signed, and we'll be tracking those due dates and things like this. We will do our best, but again, some of these are outside of our control, and we might need to, sign some of these in between board meetings going forward, but we will work on the notification part at least. So these have been signed by the Office of the County Executive, and are available, in your packets for review if there's any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Questions on these items? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Those items are received and filed. Item 9, resolutions. We have none tonight. Item 10, voucher listings. I'll take a motion to pay the bills.
So moved. Support.
Same time, every time. Motion from Megan, support from Selena this time. Questions on the bills? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Bills are paid. And next, we will move on to the CFO update. Ken's going to let Richard do all the work tonight. Smart man.
Thank you. So we do have in your packet the July monthly finance report. Just a couple of highlights. As it relates to our revenue and our eligibility, July continues to be eligibility higher than this time last year and continues to grow month over month, as is anticipated with the continuation of the public health emergency. As mentioned at program and budget, we will continue to keep our eye on that eligibility and that trending. And at this point in time, the official tentative end date is 10/15 of that, but we've not received the notice from CMS, and so we expect that we'll get another 90-day extension. So potentially January 15th could be the end of the public health emergency. Page 2, as we look at our balance sheet, again, our cash and investments continues to grow and is higher than it was at the end of September. And a lot of that is related to the increased revenue that we're getting from that public health emergency. And again, the potential that we're going to have to give some of that back to the state at the end of the year. Page 3, again, we are seeing some increases on our projected provider services line item, which is good. We're seeing some of the results of the rate increases that we provided to our provider network, some of the provider stability payments that we're doing, and some of the GF spending programs that we've put into place. So we are seeing that increase from in our projection. Page 4, related to our revenue and expenses by fund source. Medicaid, we're looking at a surplus through July of about $30 million. Healthy Michigan, about $8.7 million. The CCBHC Medicaid program is, we're potentially going to have some additional money we're going to be getting through that related to our supplemental. I will say that as I mentioned at program and budget, we were still waiting on guidance from the state of Michigan on exactly how that was going to be calculated. We got that official guidance actually today. So this July financial report does not recognize that change in the calculation that will happen. We will bring that forward in the August reports next month. So that's our plan here. So we're looking at overall, though, a surplus in the CCBHC program. And again, just to reiterate program and budget, we are seeing the CCBHC as a financially viable program at this point, and that's what we were hoping to hear all year. So that's the good news story there. And again, at the bottom of page 4, we do anticipate ending 2022 with a fully funded ISF, fully funded Medicaid savings, so we'll have those resources available to mitigate our risk into 2023. Those are the highlights for July. If there's any questions or concerns, I'm happy to either try to address those or research those for the board.
Questions? Anything? Richard, with year end coming up, how are we looking for money to give back to the state? That's always the hot topic.
Yes. So obviously we've got a lot of closing of the books to do. And we are continuing to have conversations with providers about that provider stability, making sure that if there are any retention payments that they need to get out, get that submitted to us. We are looking at a decent sized give back on the Medicaid side. So I'm thinking it's going to be $30–40 million potentially give back on Medicaid Healthy Michigan. On the general fund side, we're also trying to estimate that. I'm thinking it could be as much as $3 or $4 million. We have had a reach out from the association of anyone interested in doing a 236 transfer. I don't know if the board might remember a couple of years ago, we did a 236 transfer. And so I will be actively reaching out to some of our counterparts throughout the state and seeing if there's anybody that could utilize that money instead of giving it back to the department. So our plan would be to bring that back to the board in October. However, if the department requires quicker action, we might have to request that the executive committee take a look at that. So,
thanks, Richard. Anyone else?
Ryan.
Thank you,
go
Richard.
ahead.
Just curious, in your experience with other CMHs, do you see other groups having the same? I mean, it's an enviable position, but having all this money from Medicaid, and are there some places out there that could use the transfer?
So just to clarify, so on our state general fund or our non-Medicaid, we are allowed to do the transfer stuff. On the Medicaid side, we're not allowed to do transfers, which is unfortunate. Region 10 is in a similar position on the Medicaid side. Public health emergency has provided a lot of additional resources, and so there is a give back anticipated. I do sit on the CFO meetings with the other PIHP CFOs, and we're hearing a pretty general, there's lots of money today. And so everyone's fairly solid. There's a couple regions, the Lakeshore region over on the west side of the state, that continues to struggle a little bit with finances. But in general, I think, kind of the public health emergency has provided a lot of resources that, so we're not unique in that situation right now. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thanks, Ryan. Nick?
Yeah, we kind of talked about this a little bit before, but in light of the fact that so much of this dollars that are coming in that we're sending back are temporary dollars because of the fund, has there been any discussion, Dave, or you can answer, about seeking from the state some sort of a provision that would allow us to put more in savings so you could spread it through? Now, I know that you had expressed some concern that might trigger them wanting to up our share of the
risk.
And that some of the other boards would have problems with that. But if we're sharing the money with the other boards, that might soften that. And I'm not sure we need to agree to that. They haven't raised it. We aren't going to raise it. But nonetheless, the justification being not that the money wasn't needed, but that in the future, it's essentially a budget stabilization effort to take that money and spread it over a longer period of time so we don't have a sudden drop, which is something we're all worried about.
Yeah, I don't know if there was additional discussions at the CEO level, but I do know that at one point we did reach out to Jeff Weifrich at the department and ask about the potential for a 1 year, kind of taking that 7.5% cap off of our savings, and they were not interested in a contract amendment to that effect at this time. So
we looked at it, and it was just taking it off, not necessarily. What about it just raising it to a certain degree?
We
the
asked,
department's not interested, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to be creative and ask about different options, whether it's, you know, take it off or change it temporarily, and there was not an appetite for that at that point in time. Okay. So I don't think it's been discussed in the last couple of months, but it's probably about 6 months ago we brought the idea up to the department, and they weren't interested. So.
Okay. Well, we tried.
But yes, we did try.
Thanks, Nick. Anyone else? Okay. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move on to the CEO update.
Well, good evening, everybody. First, I'd like to invite Linda Pente up to the podium. And Linda, I will let you introduce yourself just so we don't become redundantly redundant. But.
Sure. My name's Linda Pente. I am the new Assistant Corporation Counsel for Macomb County, assigned to the Community Mental Health Department. I come from Wayne County Corporation Counsel's office, and during my time with Wayne County, I also worked with Wayne County Mental Health System, initially as a recipient rights investigator, and then as an attorney for mental health in the health department, and then moved on to some other areas of law, labor, employment, work comp, and then landed here back to my roots of mental health. So I look forward to working with the mental health agency, as well as the board and the community at large.
You can clap. We're very happy to have Linda working with us. She's met some of the leadership team, and we've already started. I hopefully not inundating you too much. Please let me know if you're getting. But yeah, there was a little pause in between there with some of our activities. John Chapka did a wonderful job of covering after Aaron left. I'm sure John's very happy that you're working with us too. But yeah, it gives us just another really great resource. So some of these contract issues, and you know, Linda will get to know us, we'll get to know her. Yes. But yes, welcome and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd also like to announce, Tracy and I, we posted and interviewed for a diversity, equity, and inclusion administrator. And we did make an offer that was accepted. So Melvin Lunkins will be joining us October 17th. It's a new position, one that's very much, you know, I think it's needed. We had the committee going for a while. If you recall, it was a requirement through the federal grant that we had, and really good activity going on, but with some staffing changes and things, those activities fell off a little bit, which, you know, it was unfortunate. So I think this position, like I said, Melvin interviewed just really well. He comes to us with a lot of DEI direct experience. He's also a veteran, and I think he's really going to help us and our provider system, you know, become better educated and more aware of these types of issues, including the disparity, which is, you know, to the degree that different groups reach out to access help. We are also working on our community needs assessment. Next step is a kind of larger community forum. So we'll be planning that and informing the board as well. If you recall, the Health Management Associates have already met with a number of different groups of people. But this will be the last step, and then they'll issue their report too. So lots of good activity going on in that area. A heads up, I will be bringing to the board next month an RFP request for the Crisis Stabilization Unit. You approved, and we did issue the jail diversion RFP, which Team Wellness was the approved respondent for that one. The Crisis Stabilization Unit will be the hub of our crisis continuum. So we're looking for a good partner and a good location. And our crisis continuum is, there's a lot of activity going on in that area right now, really good activity. So I will keep the board updated as we're able to nail down some more details with that. So this will just be a request. Hopefully we can issue it out by the end of next month and have it reviewed and scored by November, and probably look at a January notice to the respondents. The emergency room issue continues to be critical, as does our staff shortage across our provider system. You know, really good individual work going on in that area. I can't thank my staff enough. Our partners on the provider side, their partners with the health systems, really managing very difficult situations as best we can. You know, we did the recruitment and retention. There's some positive signs here and there. I hear good things occasionally from the provider side, but it remains, you know, a top priority to really find those options and alternatives for the people who need alternatives to being in an emergency room. So this crisis continuum efforts are very timely, as is the jail diversion, the engagement center that the board approved the RFP for that, and our consultant is working in that area and stuff as well. The October 5th, Richard and I and probably Ken will be presenting at that podium, so I'll be on the opposite side, the budget that you just approved to the Board of Commissioners. And like I said, I'll be working now on getting the official notice out to the ICOs by October 1st. And thank you for that.
Thanks, Dave. Any questions for Dave? Comments? Anything? Okay. Thanks, Dave. We'll move on to other possible agenda items. A few reminders. Crossroads 29th Annual Open House is Wednesday, October 5th from 2 to 6. Bruce is probably going to promote it shortly, maybe. We have a Policy and Legislative Committee meeting Thursday morning, October 6th at 8:30. That'll be at the Administration Building. Program and Budget October 12th at 6, and full board October 26th at 6 right here. And then I just want to give a shout out to Tracy. Every year lately, since we've had the mobile unit, she's helped me schedule that bad boy to come to New Baltimore. We have a Make a Difference Day where it's basically a health fair. We provide flu shots and resources and things like that, and Tracy has been a rock star in helping me set that up, so I want to thank her for that. And I also want to remind board members that that is available. If you have something going on in your community that you think our mobile unit would be a great addition to, reach out to Tracy, unless she wants us to reach out to somebody else. She's smiling, so we're going to say reach out to Tracy. So thank you. Any board members with anything to add tonight? Antoinette, go ahead.
Thank you. I just have a couple of, I guess, questions. One, are we going to be at the Pride Festival? Mental health? Okay, I just wanted to double check that because someone on their board asked and I didn't know the answer. Okay, all right, that sounds good. Next question, are we a contact for Mount Clemens High School? Do you know?
We're a contact for everybody in Macomb County, so yeah.
Okay.
For a specific service, are you looking for?
Well, because there was an incident last week with the lady that attacked the 19-year-old at 7 a.m. when our kids are walking to school. So a few of our kids witnessed that. The police questioned them in school, and we received the email like, if they need help, you can contact us and we will kind of figure it out or whatever. And I'm just like, why is there like, we need to figure it out? We have a whole us, you know? Yeah. So, you know, instead of a day of learning, it's a day of seeing someone being attacked. There's blood all over Main Street. Now I'm being questioned by the police. What am I supposed to do? You know, on top of parents have already left for work. I was at a MAC conference. My daughter was walking to school. So now it's like, oh crap, I'm in Port Huron. And they're like, oh, well, you know, if someone needs someone, we can find someone, you know. It's like, why is this a question, you know? So I wanted to check with you before I got on them. So
we have the Macomb Emergency Response Group, or MERG,
okay.
For the traumatic incidents. There's information on our website, but yeah, you can always contact me directly, or we're happy to reach out to the school too. So heaven forbid something happens again, they would have more of an awareness of that we're here and how we can help.
Okay.
We are looking at ways of reaching out to the first responders too, the sheriff's department, the police departments within our county, the EMS, to letting them know that we're here and how we can help as well. So we're expanding and increasing and continuing to increase our community outreach.
Okay,
and
that's awesome.
Obviously, there's some gaps.
Right. Well, that's why people like me are here. I'm gonna fill in that gap. So my last question, and this is I learned from Wayne County at the MAC conference, and I don't know if we have anything like this, but I guess their mental health board partnered with the veterans to be able to help get service pets to veterans that need it. Do you know if we have a partnership like that at all?
We have a vet navigator, and then Macomb County has the Veterans Service Department. I'm not aware of a service animal program specifically, but I can look into it.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Antoinette. To follow up on your second point, we had the horrific incident in Chesterfield just last week, Friday or Thursday or Friday, and it's a community that's right across the street from an elementary school. And so I reached out to Dave and Tracy, I think the next morning, just saying, hey, is there anything that we can do? And that's what Dave suggested. That's who they got us in contact with. And there's even a children's group that got involved also. So yeah, if those things like that, another thing that if those things happen in your community, I mean, we have eyes and ears everywhere, but I mean, we can help CMH to mobilize those folks. So if anything like that happens where you think assistance might be needed, reach out to Dave and Tracy, and they're always there to help. I mean, I think I sent the email really late one night or something, and Tracy was still up, so she responded within a few minutes, and I'm like, why are you still awake? Why am I still awake? But I appreciate that. So if things like that do happen, we do have people on standby to help with that.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we will move on to the hearing of the public.
Hi, I'm here from Liberties to give a report for the last couple months. I was here I think at the end of July. We finally got a newsletter out. I hope some of you, I don't know if any of you have seen it, but it's pretty nice. I was very happy with it. We got another one out coming. Well, actually, September's just went out. So we'll be working on October's right away so that maybe we can get it out a little bit sooner. Liberties participated in WHAM, which was awesome. I'm still trying to get an appointment with our representative, Richard Steenman. I did have an appointment scheduled to meet with him that day of Walk a Mile, but he had canceled, so hopefully we'll get a meeting locally. NA and AA are happening at our south location. We are trying to get something going at our north location for NA and AA. I ordered some furniture today, thanks to Dave. I appreciate that. So does Liberties. He also helped us with 4 computers, which we really needed. Thank you, Dave. And I was able to meet Thomas Cole, which was a big help, because I need a little bit of help with IT. I'm not the greatest with the computers, so it's nice to know Thomas. Dorothy is going to go to each location once a month. Dorothy Pila, who does the Social Security, and she is going to be coming, like I said, once a month at both locations. And she's been able to help, I would say, probably about maybe six individuals so far, so that's not bad. I went to a statewide directors meeting in Lansing last Tuesday, and that went real well. It was nice to see other drop-in centers and how they do things, so it was really nice. I learned quite a bit. We're looking for board members, so it's in the newsletter, but our board of directors has to have a diagnosed mental illness and live in Macomb County. And we're struggling right now. We only have 1 board of directors, so if you guys know of anybody, please reach out to me. I'd appreciate it. In our bank account, as of August 1st, we had $22,126.13. On August 31st, we had a balance of $46,416.93. We also have a small savings account of $36.50.11. Our September board meeting, Shelley from Jim Ho came down and visited, and she had a nice trip here. It was nice. We are getting ready to do a DIA combined trip with Crossroads Clubhouse. Yesterday we went to the cider mill. We went to Westview Orchards. 37 people went. It was awesome. Everybody had a good time. We are also going to have a thing called Cooking Matters, and it's through Henry Ford. It's through Henry Ford, and it's cooking healthy meals on a budget. And they're going to come 6 Thursdays in a row starting October 13th, and they are going to help out with 15 people, if we can get 15 people. That's the max that they can do. They're going to talk the first hour about nutrition, and then the second hour they're going to do the cooking. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's really awesome. And I think that's it. Thanks, you guys, for being so patient with me.
Thank you for the report. Bruce or Sean? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Good evening. My name's Sean McGregor. I'm with CEO just to give our monthly report. At our Anchorville location, they had donuts and cider for the person served, along with a free hot lunch. They decorated for fall and Halloween, and they are preparing for the upcoming holidays. And they finally concluded their bottle drive and was able to earn over $500. At our Clinton Township location, they delivered Meals on Wheels, prep for Halloween and fall, and painted pumpkins. They also have a thing going with the Special Olympics is hosting classes for persons served for 6 weeks at our Academy location. at our Washington location, they have delivered over 208 meals on wheels. Hosted an end of summer picnic barbecue August 26th. A free lunch was provided with that as well. They also had activities such as rock painting, basketball, long shot, dancing, and water balloon toss at the party. And they were also in attendance at movies, bowling, libraries, malls, and such things as that. And then at all of our locations last week, it was Direct Support Professional Week. Prizes were raffled off to staff daily. Spirit Day was held along with a free pizza party on Friday for all the staff. CO recognizes our amazing team and makes sure they feel appreciated. We give them gratitude for what they do and who they serve. They make a difference each day and every day in the lives of our persons served. And then lastly, the other handout, besides my report you guys got, it's just basically a handout on our Creative Connections. On the front page, it's just some information about our Creative Academy, when we host it, what we do there. It also talks about on the next page our CARF accreditation, our DSP recognition week, which I just mentioned. And then also as well on the last page is just more information about our telehealth program and our COVID-19 response plan. And that's about it for the night. So thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Sean.
Good evening, Bruce Dunton from Crossroads Clubhouse. I just wanted to bring up 3 things tonight. First of all, in August, I came to the board and talked a little bit about the Clubhouse International World Seminar. I want to apologize because I asked for about $6,500 to use to go to the seminar. Because of Crossroads Clubhouse activity with the coalition in Michigan for clubhouses, where the meetings chair and the secretary for the guidance board. Crossroads Clubhouse, along with other clubhouses across the state, were awarded several scholarships, and all of our cost for attending the seminar was covered. So I really apologize for that. We really tried to spend the money. The only cost to us now is going to be our meals reimbursement and gas reimbursement for going to Baltimore, Maryland, and back. So I apologize for that. I'll try to do better next time. Walk a Mile. Walk a Mile happened at just a couple weeks ago. We chartered a coach that could accommodate 56 people. And I coordinated taking reservations for 56 people, and 49 of the 56 people showed up. So it was absolutely fantastic. It was a great day. It was beautiful weather outside. Took a lot of pictures. It was absolutely a fantastic day. Some people got to meet with their state representatives. Some people couldn't because of cancellations, like what happened with Liberties. But it was a fantastic day. And then finally, Crossroads Clubhouse is having our 29th open house. That will be the 5th of October. We hope that you're able to come and enjoy the day with us. That's happening from 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock. We're going to have take and bake homemade pies, cherry pies and apple pies that we've been working on. There was probably about 12 of us finishing the apple pies today, so those are really, really popular. Those are going to go for $15 each. We're going to also have chili that you can either have on site. So we'll have a couple dining areas, some outside, some inside, or you can take chili with you. That'll include either traditional cornbread, Southern style, or some people in Michigan, we like the sweeter cornbread. So that'll be an option, and those are $5 each for each serving. So we hope to see many of you on the 5th of October. Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce. Anyone else for public comment? Okay. Close hearing of the public, and I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion from Megan, support from Lori. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.